Now, yesterday, U.S. President Joe Biden met with a number of Israelis who have either lost loved ones or had them kidnapped by Hamas terrorists. One of those he met with is Professor Yifat Bitton, a noted educator here, who has lost two brothers-in-law over the past week. Here's a little bit of her speaking with President Biden.
I lost two of my brothers-in-law. One of them is a citizen of the U.S. as well, a great warrior, a colonel that died in the first day of the war. The other one is the son of a woman, my mother-in-law, who has lost her husband 50 years ago on the same date in the Yom Kippur War. Both of them were heroes who were fighting on Israeli land in the cities and villages to save civilians.
And Professor Bitton is here with us to speak about Sergeant Major Chen Nachmias and Colonel Roy Levy. Thank you for joining us, Professor Bitton. Tell us about
my brothers-in-law. Yeah, so both of them were, real warriors, true believers in our right to live in this state, but at the same time were people who loved other people, who took their power as a means to raise a generation of those who believe in our right to live here in a democratic and Jewish state, but at the same time be always ready to a threat that might come and surprise us at any given time. And unfortunately, this is exactly what happened. So, at some stage, you would think that after 75 years of existence, Israel would be settled with the constant worry of being somehow conquered, attacked, and the fact that people like Chen and Roy were there, always ready, determined to give their lives away to protect us as civilians, is exactly what allowed us to be able to eventually fight back and stop the horrors of this bitter Saturday.
Can I ask you, without getting into personal details, how's a family coping with something like this in the course of 1 week?
So this is very challenging for us. So first of all, the whole family, our family is very close. So it's to have it from both sides, to have two of our most beloved ones killed at the same day, and both of them being so, having families with kids. Chen had 4 children, Roy had 5 children. Both have the youngest child at the age of 1 year and 2 months old, like really tiny babies that are now left as orphans with their mothers, who are both, amazing women, but at the same time, women that are dealing with great pain. And also, when it comes to Chen, for example, the brother of my husband, this is a really, in a way, a typical story of Israeli suffering and the unrest that we're enduring for so many years. As I said to the president, his mother, the mother of Chen, lost her husband in Yom Kippur exactly 50 years ago. So it was the 7th of October, 73, that she lost her husband, and now 50 years later she loses her son from the guy that she married after she lost her husband. Again, this is unbearable. And also Tal, his wife, she herself lost her dad in the Lebanon war in '82. So she's an orphan herself, and now she has to, raise their children as orphans as well. So the pain is really enormous in that respect, and is, intergenerational. But at the same time, I think it says something about the bravery of Israelis and the way they cope with his suffering, determined to keep on protecting our country. And Roy as well. Like, Roy was critically injured in Tzuk Eitan in 2016. He almost lost his life. He was, coming back from the death. And he insisted on going back to the army, and he commanded one of the elite squads of IDF, and still was, rushing to save lives of others. Both of them were.
Right. Let me ask you, President Biden, what did What did he have to say to you when you spoke with him?
Well, it touched him on a very personal level. So it was amazing how he shared with us the loss that he endured of two of his sons and his wife. And he really, his condolences were so truthful, so sincere, and we really felt uplifted by the way he was treating us as humans, first and foremost, and the way he communicated with us on such a personal level. So what we saw now was me talking to him in a more official manner, and then after he spoke to each one of us, he asked the press to go out, and we had another 30-minute talk about how he coped with his own grieving and how.
Right, he lost his son and a wife.
Two sons.
Two sons.
He
and
lost
a wife
his son and a wife, and then Bo a few years ago,
of course,
and it was just,
died. Yeah.
and like he came into tears at one moment. I wouldn't imagine that someone who's at that high rank of position and leadership would be so intimate with people just due to his, humanitarian aspect and.
Right. Yifat, thank you so much for coming in, talking to us about Chen and Roe. They sound like remarkable men.
And their heritage will
heroes.
lead us in the way.
May their memories be a blessing to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming.